David, so Al Franken, remember when we interviewed, I'm doing Chris Farley. Remember when we interviewed Al Franken? That was
Hey,
awesome.
Al, remember when you were on SNL? Yes, Chris. Yeah.
So Al Franken, you're going to like this one. If you like Jim Downey, you're going to love Al Franken. He was a mainstay writer, producer, and performer on SNL for decades.
Stuart Smalley, he was in a lot of sketches as well as writing for years and years.
And we do a deep dive into the whole political stuff we wrote in terms of George Bush Sr. especially, and Ross Perot. So there's a lot of process in this one. I love that word. A lot of process of how you do SNL. Hey, I'm not going to be upstage.
I know, what the fuck? We forgot.
Oh, wait a minute.
Who cares about Al Franken? We got to get our
Anyway,
looks. We don't look the same anymore. Thank God.
We've done too many episodes. We're getting punchy. We've done like 50 of these, 60. Anyway, Al Franken, he's a good friend. He's an ex-senator. He always was very politically astute and very into politics. No surprise he became a senator. Now he's out back on the road doing stand-up, and we have a nice chat with our friend Al Franken.
I knew nothing about politics, and I'd go, what is that? Who's that? That's someone who's a senator? And he goes, why don't you know this?
Yeah. You said, who are the Democrats?
I didn't know anything when I got there. I still don't.
You know, it's better to stay out of politics at this point. Just everyone's so angry and sad. Even our president. These people, the MAGA Republicans, who got more MAGA, and the MAGA Republicans take over the country at such a time.
Everyone goes like this, huh? Okay, Al Franken, here we go. It's a good listen.
Roll it.
You blame DocuSign on Al?
No, Al is on the phone to Putin or something. Yes, I really...
Is that Putin?
Putin, I wouldn't do it if I were you. I just think we can come to some... Oh, I got to do a podcast. Okay. Fly on the wall.
I got it.
Fly on the wall.
Putin called Al to say, how do I get SNL not to make fun of me?
We were going to call our podcast The Al Franken Show. But I said, but why? He's only going to be on once. And they said, okay. But
me, Al Franken.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Fly on the Wall with our very special guest, SNL legend and Senator Al Franken.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
Al, there's so many things in your career that we're looking at to talk about.
Your new nickname is the Touchstone.
I did Saturday Night Live, you know.
I do know that is a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
We want to go with a deep dive. Our other name for the podcast is The Hot Seat. So welcome, Senator.
We really grill him.
Yeah, I've heard you grill.
We love our...
We're the worst two hosts I think we've been voted, but that's okay. That's okay.
We're terrible, but we know it, which is kind of helpful. If we
That's
thought
the charm.
Yeah.
That's the charm of you guys. That's what people love about you.
Yeah, I didn't go to interview school.
Right. They say you have no qualifications. We're like, well, you don't need them. It's a podcast. You don't need anything.
You have a chemistry between you.
Yeah.
Is that a little Ed Wynn? It's a little Ed Wynn.
Friendship and affection for each other.
And
very funny.
Thank
each of you and both together. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's not Stuart Smalley, but it's some other kind of character that's sort of sweet and.
I'm on the Upper West Side of New York right now. I think I'm just channeling last person I ran into.
Sweetness. There's something about
Al got it. Dana, Al's very smart. Went to Harvard. He also got a 800 on the math section of the SAT. No, I don't think that's out of 1,000.
Al did not get a 800 on his math.
My mom said that on I once did a radio interview in Minneapolis, and my mom, her apartment had burned down. And so she had to come with me. I was promoting a book. And so we're doing a radio interview. And I said, okay, Mom, you're not being interviewed. We're like in the green room. Then I had to go to the bathroom. And then I come back and I go, where's my mom? And she's being interviewed, and she's going, Alan got an 800 on his test.
Within 20 seconds, she pulled that out?
Within 20 seconds. Yeah.
Wow. So. But okay, so seriously, so you're a math whiz or a brainiac? I mean, what is that about?
No, I was just good at math, and up to a point. I mean, I peaked at algebra 2. I mean, I took calculus freshman year, and I went, what? I have no idea what this is useful for, and I don't like it. And then I became a comedian.
I have to say, I was good at math, Al, and when I went, one of those didn't click with me. And I think people that are good at all math is very interesting, because it was like algebra, geometry, and then one of them I stopped at and said, I don't get it at all. And then they go, well, then you're dumb. And I go, well, that doesn't. Anyway, Al was in the Minnesota comedy sketch scene back. Was that a big scene back? It says that's where you started.
I don't know where you got that thing. There was a thing called Dudley Riggs Brave New Workshop, which was Third City. It was like SE. In fact, Del Close taught. And Tom was in their troupe. Tom was in. Okay. And I'll give you an example of, Tom Davis and I met in high school. And we started performing together at this theater. We went to like an open, there weren't mics. It was a little theater, and we were able to get on, and the owner liked us, and we were able to do shows there. And I went off to college, and Tom became a member of the troupe and got the training, the improv training. And anyone who's interested in comedy, I would do that, because I'll give you one example of where it really came in handy. Remember Julia Child bleeding to death? That sketch, Danny?
Yep.
Okay, so Tom and I wrote that, and we're looking for an end. And in improv, you're taught to look for objects, because you're out there on the stage with nothing, and you're improvising. And one of the techniques is to find objects. And at the end, we were looking for a blow for the scene, and Tom said, the phone. There's the kitchen phone. And so, Danny as Julia Child is going like, the phone, and an emergency, call 911. And Danny picks it up and starts to dial. He goes, it's a prop phone, and throws it down and then dies essentially. Yeah. And that was like, it was really, Tom and I as a team, each kind of complimented each other in certain ways. That was one of the ways he did. So people who are listening to this podcast are really interested in comedy. And young people ask me all the time, should I do improv class? And I go, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we always say, get in a kind of a biker bar and try to do 5 minutes. That's the path. Stand up is a lot rougher.
I didn't biker bar.
Whoops! Oh,
Al, that was one of the best sketches ever. That was one of the top most memorable sketches.
That was one that peaked on air. You know how you knew you had something. And you were just going like, oh, please peek on air, please. And that was one of the, you guys will attest to this. If something worked in dress, it was in air, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that worked in dress. And it was Walter Matthau was the host, but we didn't have the blood quite right. And we held it because we didn't have the blood quite right. It still kind of killed. And here's the thing is that it was an insecticide sprayer underneath the counter, and the special effects guy was running it. And because Tom and I had written it, we went to the special effects guy and said, can Tom run the insecticide?
Right, because it's like part of the joke. Yeah. You got to get it right.
And the guy, it's a union job. They could have said no. But they love Tom, and so Tom did it. So Tom and Danny time those spurts, and that's and then it was one of those things where you're going like, oh, please get it all on air, and it does, and you go, yay, whoa.
Wow. So you actually platformed it and then said, let's wait until we get the blood spurt thing.
Yeah. And that's was really rare, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it would work no matter what, but it wasn't, but I guess
that just adds to it so much to make those things work perfect. It's so much part of the joke. And then it goes boom, 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 boom. And he's saying something funny. The blood comes out perfectly. And it just builds.
Yeah. And you know what that feels like when it just works on all cylinders. So
you know what it feels like when it peaks at dress too. That's a sickening feeling.
And there were years where we did not tape dress.
Oh,
really? So you didn't have a fail safe then?
Well,
for the West Coast,
and for the repeats. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And now they do, of course. And so,
Al, when we were there, let's say 91 to 96 was, I mean, I think we did tape dress. I never really saw them. They didn't really do anything with them, but maybe they did tape them. I don't remember.
No, I think certainly in the repeats, I don't think they changed it for the West Coast unless something.
I think they do that now, though. They say they'll see it in the West Coast, the better one. Like, wow,
yeah, and
what a luxury! God,
I know.
Al, can I ask for a second something about you and Tom, because it's always interesting origin meetings and how you guys were partners in crime for so long. Like, do you remember, like, it was the 8th grade PE, or did you connect with them right away, or do you have any kind of McCartney-Lennon-esque thing?
It was
because you guys obviously
grade.
Connected. 10th grade, sophomore.
And I changed schools. I went to the public school system till 10th grade, and then I don't need to go why I went to this all boys private school, but it ruined my life. But anyway,
it involved let's just say it involved shoplifting.
And then we would have chapel in the morning. It was like this school founded at the turn of the 20th century for a school for Protestant boys, and they started letting Jews in the 50s to get the SAT scores up. And so,
okay, I'll let that just lay there for a second.
Well, yes, that's actually truer than you can possibly imagine. But
sure.
So I get there, and Tom makes an announcement. The reason I said that about the religion was that we had chapel in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a big pipe organ, and you sang, these hymns and
Christian songs. Okay.
Yeah. And when the first week I got there, I just didn't sing them. And my math teacher asked me to stay after class. And he said to me, Mr. Franken, you want to go to a good college, right? And I said, yeah. He said, well, and you're going to need good math scores for that, right? I said, yeah. He said, I'd sing the hymns.
Jeez, blackmail.
Then I sang the hymns, and I loved singing the hymns. A mighty fortress is our God. That.
Oh yeah, did you ever sing "Onward, Christian Soldiers"? That was kind of catchy. Onward, Christian soldiers. Yeah, there was some great hymns,
and I didn't mind. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after the hymns and some, the faculty there'd be announcements, and Tom was really funny, and organizations would send him up to do announcements. So, like the first week of school, I went up to him. I said, "You're really funny," and then we started doing stuff together. We started doing announcements for the meeting of the chess club or something, and we did all kinds we did Karnak, we did just all of that stuff.
They let you do it, huh? They let you kind of screw around.
They loved us doing that. I mean, it was fun, and it was where we really started in chapel.
Could you? There's been people mentioning 75 to 80, and specifically Jim Belushi, and I just want to get your take. John, sorry, Jim.
Jim mentions it.
Jim, but John, sorry, Jim. I apologize. John Belushi, apparently was sort of an intimidating figure, or he became one. But anyway, our friend Jim Downey talked to it, and I'd like to hear your take on season 3, and what was going on with John.
Well. Yeah, I heard Downey's interview with you, and it was great. I'd recommend that to anyone. And he mentioned a time that I think he was referencing, and this was my memory of it. One of the Charlie's Angels, Kate Jackson,
Jacqueline Farah or Kate Jackson?
I think Kate Jackson was the host. Okay. And I only referenced because I remember that was it. And he was very bad off then in terms of drugs. And so he was terrible in dress. So Jim and I had written a sketch, And I said, we got to just go and talk to him. And so, and Jim was intimidated at the time more. And I just knew Belushi from the get-go. And I just knew that he could be intimidating, but he wasn't going to do anything. So we knock
not to you, not to the state wrestling champ, but go ahead. We'll talk about that later.
Well, I was hardly that. But so anyway, we go in and I go, John, let's run lines on this sketch because frankly, you were pretty bad in it and didn't know the lines. And he just goes like, get out of here. He makes a fist and down, and I'm going like, no, I'll tell you what, John, we'll just read them to you so that they'll sound familiar when they're coming out of your mouth. and that's what we did. We just read him the sketch over and over again. Jeez. And he was marginally better. This is kind of his worst point. But I never saw him actually do anything other than, physically to intimidate anyone, or other than his bearing. And he wasn't, he wasn't great to the women in terms of that, showing respect and the women writers and stuff. So yeah, but god damn, he was funny.
Yeah, brilliant comedian. I'm just sort of curious, like, what were the things he was taking and how did it affect his performance? Was he taking cocaine where he'd speed up, or was he drinking so he'd slow down? Or do you remember?
I think it was mainly cocaine at that time. It's funny, when I first ran for the Senate, one of the first interviews I had, I thought SNL was going to really help me.
This is great.
This is a feather in my cap. Everyone loves
Free
SNL.
pass.
Oh yeah, they did bring up a lot of your sketches, didn't they? Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
So my first interview is one of my first interviews. The reporter says, when you were at Saturday Night Live, did you ever do cocaine? And I say,
What's that?
Yes, and then I say, but I only did a little so that I could stay awake late enough to make sure that Belushi didn't do too much.
Good line.
Oh, good one.
And which was a joke, and most people recognize as a joke, but the media, I've learned, has a vested interest in not getting jokes. So the guy kind of wrote it up as Al Franken conceded that he used cocaine while at Saturday Night Live.
Breaking news.
But said that he only did a little so that he could stay awake late enough to make sure that John Belushi didn't do too much. Belushi later died of a drug overdose.
Connect the dots.
So anything I ever did, oh my God, I think of, there's one line in a great sketch, Comedy Killers. Were you guys around for this?
I think I was. It sounds like
okay.
something.
Comedy Killers was a Jeopardy-like game, but the premise was, and Downey and I wrote this, and I'm sure, and other people kicked in. It was one of those things where people kicked in at the table. So it was just the categories were like cancer, the Holocaust, Kennedy's, that kind of thing. And so there's one joke, and Rosie Schuster wrote this joke. So this might have been earlier than, or maybe she was
right.
Lorne Michaels' ex-wife.
It was, yes. It was Jeopardy-like. So this would have been a bad Hanukkah gift for Anne Frank. And then, what was a drum set?
That was.
And so I later told that joke, like I'm telling it now. And so that gets like, Al Franken told jokes about the Holocaust.
He's coked out of his mind, and he doesn't care about the Holocaust. Al
You should have said he told pretty good
out
jokes.
Of his mind. I like that.
Yeah.
So
in one of his cocaine frenzies,
yes,
the Holocaust joker cokehead also said,
I don't know about you. I don't know if I want this guy running the country.
He feels cocaine and the Holocaust are a joke. What else does he feel?
It reminds me of those political ads we used to do.
Yeah, those are the best. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah.
So funny.
I had a kind of a Gap Girls. It's
all right,
a story, but it's really just about the Gap Girls set and Paul McCartney. So
I love
it. I think I remember this.
Okay, well, Paul McCartney. Okay, well, for your listeners, the first thing that was rehearsed on Thursdays, we shot promos maybe first, but the second thing, maybe the first thing rehearsed was the music, because the music set was the music set and was there, so you didn't have to bring in a new set. So when Paul McCartney came to play, everybody at 30 Rock knew he was the guest and knew when the music rehearsal was. So 8H was filled with people for the rehearsal, and Lauren goes up and asks Paul, I'm there, right there, and he's going up to Paul and he says, could you do Hey Jude? How would Lauren say that?
Could you possibly find your way to Hey Jude? It's just it's just exactly like a really, really, really big hit.
Sorry, go ahead. I think find your way to Hey Jude would be exactly
be
right.
Lauren,
So Paul goes like, well, we're not really playing at this tour, so I don't know if we really know it. And I go, Hey Jude. And he goes, no. And because the lyrics are so like this, confusing. But I think Paul was actually, I think they were doing that tour. So he goes to the band, then he comes back and says, yeah. So they play Hey Jude in the studio, full of people there. And everybody is so blown away and moved. And I'm like crying because this was, I was like 16 when Hey Jude came out. Yeah. And it was that it just meant so much. And I'm literally, where's my life gone? I remember sitting in the car, not, if Hey Jude was on, if I arrived at my place, I waited to the end of Hey Jude, and I'm just so moved. Okay, they're doing a Gap Girls sketch that week.
Okay, now Gap Girls is going to enter the story. Okay, great.
Yeah. So we're on Saturday, and during meal break, they have the music rehearsal. So I go, of course, because I'm going to play Hey Jude, and I go on the floor, and I notice while they're playing Hey Jude that there's a guard on the Gap Girls sketch guarding the clothes. Yeah, because the clothes on the Gap Girls sketch was so, I guess, valuable enough to have a guard there. So, but I see that the guard is so transfixed with Hey Jude and I need some jeans.
And you need some jeans. Okay, got it.
And I need some jeans. So I watched during dress. He's still during air. I took 2 pair of 3630s.
3630.
3630?
Yeah, that's what I was at the time. 3630s. I'm short and.
Well, you have gigantic legs. Remember the night? Yeah, you and Farley would sometimes, in a fun way, wrestle. At least one night, I remember you guys. It was like Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know that I was a wrestler, but your build is very powerful. And Farley was, and it was like Goliath colliding. Who actually won that wrestling match in the middle of the night on 17th floor?
Well, I think it was just a kind of a man affection thing.
Yeah, you guys were laughing
how playful.
when you did it.
Yeah, obviously everyone was turned on.
Yeah,
all the writers also.
Especially the women.
Yeah. Actually, Dana, back to that. The Gap set, they donated a corner, the set, all from the Gap, and it was all real. So they sent their own security saying, we have to make sure this comes back in one piece.
Oh, okay.
And that's what happened. So I remember because they told me, don't worry, all the Gap stuff, all the cable crews, everything's going to be still there on Saturday. No one's going to be able to pinch. And then
yeah, I did.
I think maybe you had told me that. That's a great story.
I actually went to the prop master and said I took 2 jeans. And he said,
full disclosure.
Have you guys just throughout any kind of career appearance on a TV show or whatever, and then there's wardrobe left over, and there's something that you really like, and then you sort of ask casually, could I kind of keep this jacket? And it's really fun when they say yes, even though it might only be a $20 jacket. Something about free stuff on a set or a TV show.
Well, I never acted in a movie, and like you guys have.
Stuart Smalley.
Well, I did, but why would I keep Stuart Smalley's clothes?
Yeah, okay.
Trading places.
I got his sweater. Was what I was going to say.
Well, I was Porter. I was Stone Porter number 1, and Tom was Stone Porter number 2.
Did you write Trading Places?
No. We were just given this little part, and it was Stone Porter number 1, Stone Porter number 2, and we smoked a joint in it, and they took that away because Eddie smokes a joint, and remember, in the bathroom. So we were playing Stone, but no one had seen us in the movie smoke a joint, so we were kind of dim-witted or.
Did you actually do like a stoner dude voice? Did you do like a character?
Yeah, we were kind of like, like what? That. And
okay,
we thought that was motivated by them having seen us smoke pot, but it was fine. It was fine.
So Al, you kind of have a reputation like you do risky stuff, and I just want to start with this one. Okay, and I don't know if this is true, but it's 1980. Lorne's going to leave, and you were potentially one of the heir apparents to then take over SNL and be the executive producer. Is that possibly true? But you wrote a sketch about Fred Silverman, the then head of NBC, or he was in it.
Was stupid.
Is that is that true?
In hindsight,
that was not biting the hand that feeds. Did that? I mean, what was that?
Yeah,
sketch?
I mean, look, my life is unfolded the way it's unfolded. So,
okay,
but that was stupid. I didn't think that necessarily that was going to happen anyway, and I was kind of up for leaving myself also. So I just did limo for the lamo, and it was just about how, like. I didn't get a limo. I see even Garrett gets a limo and or something like that.
Right.
But I don't get one. But Fred Silverman gets a limo. And then NBC was tanking at the time. And I was one of the executives attached to the show begged me not to do it. And we had the ethic that if it's funny, we do it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was kind of it. And, so
did it come back to hurt you in any way? Then you were going to leave the show
only in
anyway.
the sense that Fred Silverman has hated me ever since, and that he was the head of the network. But no.
But Al, what about when I just watched this whole update bit you did about you came back, and I guess it was Gene Domanian had come and gone within 6 months, and he did a whole update piece. Was Chevy the host? Is that why he was there?
Oh, he must have been. I think it was like an interim thing. Where who came back with Ebersol, I think. Then
you were sort of making fun of him too,
and I was kind of making.
That was ballsy bit.
Yeah, I was saying kill the show or something like that. And but then a writer's strike happened right after that, and
But you always did edgy stuff, didn't you? This is jumping ahead for a second, but just to your not censoring yourself, didn't you suggest to George Steinbrenner, the billionaire owner of the New York Yankees, who was the host, that somehow he would be on all fours with a dog collar? And there'd be
no, I had him play. I wrote a sketch where he's playing Petey, who is kind of. Like wears a beanie and shorts, and is just, and everyone just say like, Petey, you're so stupid, Petey. And he would just, it was all clearly just a pretext to say to say stuff to George Steinbrenner like that, and he wouldn't do Petey.
He wouldn't.
Is that the one where Odenkirk and Conan were supposed to go try to keep talking him into doing a sketch or something?
No, this was, I don't think so. I did Petey, and I just thought it'd be very funny. He had like a beanie with like a twirling thing on the top.
And he was this wealthy,
and then, I
powerful.
think we made him get on all fours in the sketch.
That's what I remember going,
and kicked him in the ass. That's right. I think that was
that's it. Yeah, you got him on all fours, kicked him in the ass. And were you shocked when he turned down the sketch?
Well, yeah, I mean...
he was kind of weird. I don't know if he was the kind of guy.
He did a decent job. We wrote a sketch for him and Nealon and Jan and Victoria where it was just George is Nealon's boss, and the two couples are going out to dinner, and Nealon offers to pick up the check, And George says, "No, come on, I'm your boss." No, you always picked it up. I'm going to pick it up. And no, I'm your boss. I'm taking the check. And I know I'm taking the check. And then he takes it and goes, "Well, that was pretty easy." And then Nealon goes, "Okay, I'm taking it. I'm taking it." And then it just escalates.
Yeah. He was
and
good
Jan
on the show.
kind of goes, "No," it was one of those. And Steinbrenner was very good in it. Actually.
I just remember him going around 8H asking people where they went to college and Penn State, oh, good school, Cambridge, oh, nice school. And then he came to me and goes, "Where'd you go to college?" I said, "San Francisco State." His face went blank and he just turned and walked away from me.
Really?
Why,
well, San Francisco State, I guess it wasn't a sexy college.
God, that makes me think George Steinbrenner is a dick.
Or a guy who just loves higher education. It was just a funny school that I went to. Now,
San Francisco State is a fine school.
There are stories that you always feel like everyone's heard, but I don't really know the George Harrison legendary visit. I'll give you a choice. Either that or talk about the character, the brain tumor comedian.
Okay. I'll do Harrison real quick.
Both, yeah.
So this was an epic thing. I missed it, but he comes to SNL in what year? Like 90, whatever.
Yeah.
Probably not 90. I would have been there.
95.
89, 88, something like that. Conan is there.
And I wasn't
I've discussed
there.
this with Conan. And basically, George Harrison shows up on the 17th floor. He and Lauren are going out to dinner. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, George Harrison's here. George Harrison's here. They're going out to dinner. They come back a few hours later, and he is just drunk. And so now it's like 10:30, 11.
I love it.
And as you know, this is Tuesday night. Tuesday night, and that's when the
writing night.
Show gets written. And this year, I was one of the producers, and he starts to play the piano.
Fun.
A gift.
In the read-through room, and everyone just is like gathered round, and George Harrison's playing the piano. A Beatles playing the piano. And it's going on and on and on. And I'm going like, the show is not going to get written. And so I just go to Phil Hartman. I say, "Phil, watch this." And you remember my office is right next to the piano,
right across.
Yeah. So I go in my office and I just slam my door as hard as I can. I didn't see him because I'm inside, but George jumped like 3 feet off the piano bench, came down, and then left. And everybody was just furious at me. And I just said, we got to write this show. And of course, Rue McClanahan was the host. No.
And she sat down at the piano and wouldn't stop. That piano
so
was
that's that
beacon.
Story.
Oh.
And the brain tumor comedian was Tom is so funny in this piece. It's, we would do the Franken and Davis show, which was a show within the show. And this one is, I have a brain tumor and I have this bandage with a big discolored lump on it. and Al's always wanted to do a single. And he's he's got a brain tumor. So, you're going to really enjoy this, folks. This is Tom. And then I start, you hear about the rabbi didn't didn't charge for giving circumcisions. He only took tips. Woof. And then the next joke I tell, I start to space out. And every joke the punch is always, he only took tips.
Oh.
And then Tom behind me would encourage the audience to laugh. And it was really funny. And Tom was really funny. And of course, we got a few letters. Have you ever watched your wife die of a brain tumor?
Have you ever thought of a sketch out where you thought of it and said, no, too much? Too far.
Yes, of course, but I can't remember any.
Okay.
Right off the
but I can't remember.
It was few and far between. But let's talk about some stuff we did together.
Yeah.
Dana. And Downey. I think I've told you this. Downey had this credo for the political material we wrote, which was Downey. It was a moderate Republican, a very thoughtful, conservative in the best sense Republican, and I'm obviously a very progressive Democrat. And we felt that it wasn't the job of the show we felt the job was to do satirical political satire that was well observed, but not, biased in one way or another. So, and Downey had this motto, which was, we're going to reward people for knowing stuff, but not punish them for not knowing stuff. Mm-hmm. So the point is that you could watch it and not be a political junkie at all, not follow politics very closely and understand it. But if you were someone who did, there was another layer, and that's pretty sophisticated stuff. But Downey and I were pretty. I'm very proud of the stuff I did with Jim, and we did so much with you. And Jim didn't say this when we're talking about you doing the Bush cold openings, which we use as a crutch. It was basically, we can always do Dana in one on home base, and Downey is right. Sometimes we wrote them on, and
they were long.
But here's the thing that I tell people a lot, which is in dress, and those were well written by and large. And Downey kind of said, well, sometimes we threw you out there with nothing. I don't remember made a lot out of whatever we gave you. But what would happen is we would send you out there with something actually well thought through. You would get so many laughs at will because you just do the hand thing over there, doing that, it would spread. Thing.
Got to do that whole area.
Will get laughs. So we had to tell you between dress and air a number of times, which I don't think anybody has ever told a performer, don't get so many laughs because you're not following the through line of the audiences, and they're losing the through line. And you knew exactly what we were talking about. You knew exactly how to dial it down, and you did every fucking time. And which was, you knew exactly what you were doing. You had such control. And of course, you helped write those and added to them. And I also want to tell another story about you, which is, and I think I've discussed this with you, but in I guess it was when did Clinton run? 92. So Tsongas was running and
Paul
Jerry Brown
Tsongas
was running.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tsongas,
and we had a 2-week break, which was rare. And a 2-week break. And you said to me, as we were about to go on break, said, can you work on Tsongas for me? Just on the idea of Tsongas and what to do with him. And so I started playing around with his voice. And I nailed it. I got it really great. And then I gave a speech at the Kennedy School, on political satire. And I killed with Tsongas. So I come back and I'm really embarrassed. And I say to Dana, could I do Tsongas? And you just went, yep, I'll do Jerry Brown.
Love Jerry Brown.
And the thing about you is that you knew Jerry Brown.
Yeah.
Part of it is that you went to, a lousy
campaign,
San Francisco State and California.
Oh,
yeah.
But Jerry Brown was a great character, but your Tsongas was hysterical. Whatever your take was, I remember it killing.
Right, it was Snagglepuss with a
Kermit
with a Massachusetts accent.
Yeah,
Snagglepuss,
and he really had a voice that odd. I mean, it wasn't that big a leap. Yeah. Very extreme.
Yeah.
I have a question out. When you and Dana were formulating Bush, it was right before I got there, but I just watched a Bush Dukakis early on debate, which I don't even know if it was a cold opening. It was 14 minutes, which is pretty long.
It might have been, but it was
great.
It was during the campaign.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That was Diane Sawyer.
Discussed with Downey the line, which was, I can't believe I'm losing this guy.
Yes.
And yes, I wrote that line, but the line only worked because of this long setup.
Right. Of Bush rambling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was Diane Sawyer, Jan Hooks playing a very sultry
Diane
Sawyer.
So funny.
Hilarious. and basically ask him a question, and you kind of go, well, stay the course, 1,000 points of light, stay the course. And then she just went, for the first time in this, she just went, you still have another minute 45, Mr. Vice President.
And he just saw him dancing.
Stay the course.
Yeah.
And then
bring it down.
And she does that back and forth with you like 3 or 4 times. And finally she goes, Governor. And then I can't believe I'm losing this guy. So that
John
was,
Lovitz. Yep.
I wrote that line, but only because of that set up that line.
Right.
I think I
totally.
slotted the line off the set.
And
the whole script, and Lovitz nailed that one, by the way. He was great in that sketch.
Lovitz was great as Dukakis, and I don't know if I've told you this, Al, but on election night when Bush won, Lovitz called me and essentially conceded, well, you're going to be doing the president for 4 years. And the fake Dukakis conceded to the fake Bush before the real Dukakis conceded to the real Bush. But then I knew I was going to be in the hot seat, and I didn't really have the impression at that point.
You didn't quite have it, and we did sit down, and you started developing that.
Well, do you remember the exact moment? Because it was just you and me in a room trying to find it. And I said that doing that thing out there with the finger up, the lazy finger,
like
that was
doing that thing in that whole area, and we both looked at each other and laughed, and that was the end. It's very interesting how one little hook, and then it went to not got that.
Well, I remember you were one of the first guests on my podcast, and you said to me, because I laughed, and you said laughter is the oxygen of comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. If you have someone laughing and you're riffing, then it is. The machine keeps going. So you laughed.
Exactly.
And I knew. Okay, this is great. And then we had Jim Downey coming in. It's like I felt really blessed to have you and Jim Downey working on it. But you seem to be the primary driver, instigator of the subject matter, and which we talked about, but it was interesting that when Bush was riding so high, he was 90% approval after his first 2 years in the Gulf War. All the sketches,
of the Gulf War, yeah.
Yeah, all the sketches were about how he was impenetrable. And when I did it at D.C. for the Democratic fundraiser, everything was about, I'm going to get elected, and it was just this super happy comedian.
He was literally at 89%.
Yeah, insane. Well, try to beat me.
And that's because he
luck.
let us out of Saddam invaded Kuwait, and he put this coalition together.
Everyone can do it now.
Well, it's the guy. You're just doing the guy who figured it out, and not unlike what Biden is doing now, in a way.
Come on,
put this coalition
we got inflation. People can't get the baby formula. I love yelling Biden. I love his yell. It's so funny. Yeah. We got to find a way to do it.
One of my favorite hooks that we started doing this kind of a couple of years ago or something. We started trying to work on Biden, and you were doing it. But one of the hooks I like is. And that's no hyperbole. He does that a lot.
Yeah. My father lost his job. No joke. That was the first one.
No joke. That's right. No joke.
I'm not kidding around here. Come on.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
What the guy said.
The Nazis killed 6 million Jews. No joke.
No joke. Not doing.
Oh, I thought that was a joke. Okay.
That was the first hook into him. Now, in fact, is a lot. And guess what? There's a lot, it went up. I know how to create jobs. I know how to create them. I don't know how to be a job creator. He goes to the whisper, and then he goes back to the yeller. But there's a lot there for sure. And then we had Perot was dropped into our lap to just follow that sequence.
Well, remember that I just saw Perot. Mm-hmm. And I got a tape, and we went in Lauren's office and showed you Perot.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh, there's a 3-dimensional,
fully fledged
character in there he is."
Yeah, it was like Sarah Palin and Ross Perot are sort of bookends of 3-dimensional, comedically already funny characters that just walked on the stage. Perot was like next level funny as a character.
Yeah, he was. And then we did a cold opening. And
you wrote the very first one, and it was a very funny take. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, basically him saying, you don't have to pay me anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if GP, gross domestic product goes up 4%, I get $1 billion. It was like
he gets
made
a taste.
Deal. Yeah. And then he called he called on Monday at 9 a.m., of course. And we got in at 2 p.m. and a receptionist got us on with him, and you and I were on, and he was not interested in the writer at all. He was interested in you. And
yeah.
Of course. But
he at least he seemed to be a good sport. He was a good sport about it. I mean, he said, here's an idea.
I think most ahead.
Were, this is a great idea. You go out and campaign as me, and I campaign as me. So it'd be two of me campaigning all over the place. I mean, he just thought that was the
precisely what he said.
Yes,
that is
that's
exactly what he said.
You don't have to write anything with him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And no, and well, you played both Perot and Bush, and lucky Spade got to be
full circle.
Yeah.
Got to be in
the wide shot as
fucking
Perot.
Wide Shot Productions.
So David had to get the hair, the nose, the ears, the suit, everything to look like Perot.
I'm so stupid. I didn't even know what was going on. I thought, am I doing Perot? I go, I guess Dana can't. And through the magic of TV and bad luck, he could. And I do remember seeing Perot on something, and obviously I wasn't a political guy, and I was like, Al, what you were saying is, if you're just a casual viewer, you get, I understood the cold opening stuff. I didn't get the second layer of jokes, but I wasn't political, so I didn't even wasn't about Republican, Democrat. I was just going, is this funny or not, whatever. And they were always great. And then when Perot was on something on the weekend, like a Meet the Press, I accidentally saw, I thought, look at this little clown. This is hilarious. And he was like, someone gets to go do a stand-up's act, because he's already funny. And I go, and he was a little pipsqueak, and I go, oh, maybe I could. And that's how out of it I was. By the time I called Smigel and I just said, hey, is there any way? He's like, we got it covered. I'm like,
I got it down. Probably even more fun than George Bush Sr., at least this phrase. You're not listening. Can I finish one time? Just that, to me, that's
one time?
You're not listening. Can I finish one time? Or are you going to interrupt me again?
Can I finish?
Can I finish one time? You're not
like a
listening. Can I finish one time?
It's
It's like James Brown or something. Can I finish one time?
Well,
hit me.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that your impressions are musical in many ways. It's all chop. It goes all back to chop and broccoli.
On the
first show, once I had the she chop. I know. I have no excuse for it except that I think I'm trying to make myself laugh, and then it just makes me laugh. Someone going, "Can I finish one time? Or are you going to interrupt me?"
Oh,
Can
it's so goofy and cartoony.
One time. But he did say something like that.
Well, it's all making yourself laugh. That's all it is.
That's it.
If people ask me, what is your favorite, what's your favorite moment from Saturday Night Live?
Wow.
The 15 seasons you did. And I say that my favorite thing at Saturday night was 3 a.m, rolling on the floor laughing with the writers, with the cast members, and part of, Woody Allen once said that writing comedy is either easy or it's impossible.
Yeah.
When it's easy and it's your friggin' job, it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So this stuff is making you laugh, and and it could be downing on a riff. It could be you coming up with, you and Nealon doing Hans and Franz. It can be Bye-Bye. It can be, and you just are going, like, at that moment of creation that someone's doing something, and it's so funny, but it's the added thing of, we just did our job really well.
Yeah. Sometimes at rewrite table, it could be 4 p.m. or 4 a.m, and if someone cracks the code on something and everyone starts laughing and then everyone riffs on it, that's the funnest time. because everyone's good at the table. So everyone's throwing in something good from right and left. And you go, wow, this has really jumped this sketch way ahead of where it was.
I saw David Tell the other day, or a couple months ago, actually, at the Comedy Cellar. And I just said, he was at the table for a year or something. And he, do you remember the Bobbits? You know, she cut off his penis and that thing. And I was doing a Stuart with, I guess, Myers was the guy, and Rosie O'Donnell was Lorena Bobbitt. And I had a line that I didn't have the punch to. I go, so how did it feel? Or how does it feel now? And Attell's line was, it itches. And boy, when someone does something like that, you know, it's such a gift to have that table. And then sometimes the table is so deadly, like at 3 a.m.
Well, I just remember like a lot of food, like guys around the table and some women, of course, on 17th floor. And I'm thinking it is kind of like nothing's going on. Like it seems like the deadest space in the world. And there's Chinese food or pizza. Everyone's leaning back on their chair, tapping the pencil.
Window is cracked 1 inch because everyone's dying in there.
And you can't believe there's going to be a show. But you told me once you told me that I peaked at read-through, you know, and that really helped me going forward. Sometimes you try to get it on so hard in your first year that you literally never get back to it. You've peaked at read-through, and you definitely don't want to peak at dress unless you're at war to get it on air. You want to leave a little something. So that there's a lot of inside baseball about
if
that.
you have an insider with Al, if Al's writing with you and you're at read-through, I think it's a little easier to pull back because he's going to be in the room saying he's going to bring it up. So you at least have a partner.
Well, there were years
helping.
that I was in the room, and I was interesting to hear Downey kind of talk about the most fun he had at the show was when he just was writing and not producing. And it was nice to be able to go in there and express your opinion and on what gets picked for read through and stuff like that. But it also, there's something nice about just being a writer too. And also I was performing every once in a while.
Well, as a cast member, you want to hook up with someone who has Lauren's ear and Lauren trusts, you know, in the room after the read through. That's always a nice thing to do for people who are just beginning cast members. A little tidbit.
Al, we can't go without talking about Stuart Smalley. I remember the Michael Jordan one was probably such a huge home run. That was
a peak on air.
Greatest sketches. Yeah.
That was.
You know, I mean,
killer. Yeah.
Well, and he was. I think he was cracking up or something too much or something in dress, and I just said, just dial it, you know, and he understood it. I mean, so here's a guy. You know, he's a very. Remember when Lauren hosted or produced the ESPYs?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember. Maybe you weren't around for that. So he produced the ESPYs, and so I was a presenter, and I did this joke, and it died, and I thought it was a great joke. And this was the year that they did the second three-peat, right? The Bulls did.
Bulls.
So I went up there and I just said, and remember, this is a lot of athletes and a lot of people in sports, but I just go like, you know, a lot of people are saying that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player who ever lived. Well, all I can say is, Michael, prove it.
And it just lay there.
It's not the right crowd.
They just going, he has proven it. That was their attitude.
Yeah.
They didn't get
Who
it.
the fuck is this guy?
I remember that laying an egg so bad. And I went, oh, okay, this is not a comedy crowd.
Jordan at that show running around was such a big deal. That was so much fun.
Was he kind of the biggest guest in that way, Jordan? That when we were there, I think. I mean,
in a way, I mean, he's. I remember that was the first time we were fielding NBA players in the Olympics, and I just said to him, "So, how do you think you're going to do?" And it was like him and Magic. I mean, Bird. It was like ridiculous. And he said, "Oh," and he was so confident. And of course, they just killed everybody.
Yeah.
And
without even trying, really.
It was, but I just remember the exuding confidence.
And the competitive. He had a moment with me. He goes, "Do you golf?" I go, "Well, a little bit here and there." I go, "But I'm lucky to break 100, And he paused. He looked at me, and he's towering over me. He goes, "Well, you're not very good, are you?"
Well,
I thought he was going to say, "Let's play." Yeah,
that's not necessary, Michael.
Well, he's famously
you don't seem very athletic.
Yeah, you don't seem very athletic.
He bets a lot on golf, and he bets like each hole, and he bets because I golf, and I'm not very good either, but it's fun the stories you hear from caddies and these great golf courses where he comes in and sweeps people, and he loves it. He just always looking for some action, which is great. It's a cool thing about him. People love Michael Jordan.
Well, I think athletes just kind of blow our minds. Old movie stars when Robert Mitchum came on, Charlton Heston, or Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky showed me how to hold a hockey stick. Wayne Gretzky got on his knees and laced up my skates and showed me how to do that. So there's cool moments. Yeah, you're like, damn. And the musicians as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for Peyton Manning, but I thought, did you see that show?
I wasn't, but I thought he was hysterical on the show. I saw it.
He was fabulous.
Yeah.
There were a number of these guys who were just really, really good. And
we should get them on.
Some of them were loxes. But they were almost funny being loxes. Do you remember a piece Tom and I wrote this? Trying to figure out who was there, which one you were there. It was Joe Montana, and he was
Walter Payton.
But on this one, Joe Montana, who was kind of a lox.
Was he thinking out loud? Thinking out loud. That one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was. It starts off with Phil and Jan, and he's trying to get her to stay the night. And it's that cliche of he says something and then you hear what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says something and we played it. Tom and I wrote it so that you thought that was the sketch, that we thought that was the comedy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you're watching it, you're going like, this is kind of lame. This is a device that people use a lot. And then his roommate comes and Phil's going, oh no. And he says, this guy, my roommate is the most honest guy there is. And then at one point he goes, he says, it's nice to meet you. And then his thought is, it's nice to meet her. and then the last line was, I'm going to go upstairs and masturbate. And then I'm going to go upstairs and masturbate was his thought.
Right.
And my God, it was so funny. And it was partly funny because he was a lox.
Well, and he was competitive with himself. I was told that he wouldn't come out of his dressing room. It had to at the end of the show. He thought he didn't do well, that kind of thing. I go, you're a football player. What are you talking about? But I got to play catch with him.
He did fine.
He was
funny.
Like
no way not to do well as an athlete. Bill Russell did well. Did really well. I just,
I did a roast with Peyton, and I didn't see his SNL, but I thought it'd be fun to have Peyton in there, and he crushed it. He's crushing. They wrote him jokes, but he delivered them. He was great. He got huge laughs, huge applause. He's got a very light, funny thing about him, and that's why I think he's in all these commercials and does that Manning cast. It all works.
You know what I've discovered in comedy? Some people are funny and some people aren't.
Is that really in all your days? That's what you've come up with?
But do you guys think, like, you were there
There's
at the big...
900 of us, Dana.
That was, one of Lauren's great things. There's only, about funny people, there's only 900 of us on the planet. And it was kind of like the perfect number, right?
Yes.
Since, Al, you were there in 75, I just want to ask you this question. Was anyone cognizant of the idea of taking a football player or a dramatic actor or whatever, and forcing them to become a live sketch player. The reality show aspect of Saturday Night Live that sustains it. Because if you see a football player or a singer trying to do this and they're kind of bad, it's still compelling, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're absolutely, the first one we had was Fran Tarkenton.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
And that was Franny's idea. That was my wife's idea.
Because of the namesake a little bit? Fran Tarkenton and Franny.
And how was it?
He was very good. And it was
Old Vikings quarterback for the audience.
Yeah. This going back a ways. And, he wasn't the greatest who had ever done it, but he was very good. And I remember Belushi for that. We did a cold opening where Belushi's like a coach. We did a lot of football themed thing. And Belushi made me go back to his apartment and read to me Dick Butkus's autobiography. And I had to stay there like all, hours while he read this thing. And he worshiped Dick Butkus, who was a linebacker for everyone for the Bears, Chicago Bears.
I did a TV show with Dick Butkus and and Bubba Smith called. It was with James Ferrantino, and it was this helicopter cop show. Yeah,
Airwolf was it?
No, it was an Airwolf. I can't. Blue Thunder. The cop show.
Blue Thunder, yeah.
I played the Daniel Stern part.
What did you play on it?
Well,
I take some Viagra called that.
I played the sidekick in the back of the chopper with a helmet on. Clinton Wonderlove, just another frustrated observer. Like I wanted to be out.
Clinton Wonderlove, that was your dumb
James
name.
Ferrantino would have a styrofoam cup full of vodka, and he would smash the pages of the script on the thing and yell at the crew. It was like Scarface.
What year was this? I
just took stuff. In 84, I had no confidence that I could be on Saturday Night Live, really. So when people said I luckily got cast in things, I just did them, and they were a complete waste of time. And I got fired. But I got into the outfit, went into the fake chopper. They're going around blowing steam at us. And then they said, Dana, come down the ladder in front of the whole crew. They fired me. And I had to do the perp walk and go just in front of everyone. I go to the wardrobe guy, really nice guy. And I go, I'm a comedian. I'm funny. This is like 84. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, shh, it's okay. It's okay, son. And then he saw me like 8 years later in 93. He goes, you were right. What the fuck? What were you doing in a helicopter? I had a very strange route to SNL. I mean, you saw me once, right, Al? You were in 84. I probably bombed.
I did, and I blew it. I saw you doing stand-up in San Francisco.
I probably wasn't.
Like, that guy is brilliant. But you know what? You weren't ready.
Well, you're
ready a year later.
I would just say confidence until you're kind of famous. It is a wide range of how you'll be on a given night. And if you lose a little bit of confidence, at least for me, I don't know about Dave Chappelle.
You know what?
I don't or think Robin Williams, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I was the best judge to do this. That year, that was the year we came back from being gone, right? That Lauren came back from being gone.
Yes. 85.
And, we picked Lovitz that year. We got a few good people, but I think there were some people that we missed that were really that ended up being real huge mistakes.
It's always easier after the fact to say, "Oh, why didn't you pick that person?" But you know, when you see them, sometimes it's too raw or too rough, or they haven't developed, and you just. It's an easier miss.
It's better to wait. You know, there are people sometimes they'll put them on when they're not ready. They're 21 or 22 and not ready. But for me to get on with Phil and Jan, freakily do the church chat sketch. Rosie Schuster was the one who was helping me form. I had the character, but the platform. Then all these religious scandals happen. And Al came on, and you did Swagger, right? So throughout that first year,
I did Pat Robertson.
Pat Robertson, and then Phil did Swagger, and then they did Tammy Faye. So I have this church lady character. I get
perfect.
Yeah, and then these scandals start happening, and so, but that was fun. You doing Pat Robertson like laughing or crying? I remember, but it was a very funny take on Pat Robertson.
My Pat Robertson was just very happy.
Yeah,
that was the key to him. Though. He was just very joyful. There's a woman in Ohio who's just had her diverticulitis cure.
Diverticulitis. Funny word.
Something like that, but he was just happy. He was a happy Christian.
And you started laughing.
That was my take on him.
And then Phil was crying, and then we closed in on a closer or something like that. And you're just like two idiots not talking. Just anyway.
And I heard you. Maybe it was with Jim about how they censored Church Lady, and you just became dirtier.
Yeah,
and it was fine.
Couldn't say penis, but I could say throbbing. Bulbous organ, willing
bulbous
and ready.
Mallet.
Yeah, naughty parts, sweating and grinding. Yeah, so that it was pornographic to me. I don't know, but that was
all they cared about was, is someone going to complain?
Yeah,
and they're not. They could complain about penis because it's penis,
right?
But they're not going to complain about throbbing,
naughty parts.
Yeah. Do you remember Andrew Brewer, who was our kind of cool censor guy? He wrote us after he wrote into the podcast because we've talked about him. But we always say positive things. He's always in like a tough position. And he'd always go, guys, come on, you can't do this when you're not saying pussy like that. And I'm like, no, what do you mean? We always play dumb. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's right. So, you had that very indistinct
that's right, you remember that.
Yeah, what was that?
I still have it between my legs. It was on Weekend Update, and I sort of mumbled the word pussy, and Dennis was like, Spudley, I wouldn't mess this one up. You're gonna be fucking out of here. You're already teetering on a thread. I'm like, what?
Thanks.
And so I said the in and out list. I think the out list was going out after the show, getting out of pussy. Oh yeah, the in was. I was saying you're not. In is not enunciating enough to get caught by the censors, and then the out was going and getting some pussy. And then
it's like
and I walk in the hallway, and Andrew's shaking his head, walking at me, going, "Spade, come here." And I go, "What?" And I know I have no idea what you're going to ask me. And then he goes, "Come on, dude." And I go, but it did pretty good address. So he goes, "Come on, you can't. We got advertisers saying we pull out if he does this." And so I do it, and then Dennis is right next to me going, "I don't know, Spud." And so I do it, and it gets too big of a laugh, and Dennis is like, "It's curtains for you, guy."
Did you want too big a laugh was trouble?
Yeah, because it means you said it to everyone understood it.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know, but
I got along really well with most of the censors.
Yeah,
Clotworthy, because I know you mentioned him with Jim.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Bill Clotworthy.
He was a nice guy. Yeah,
he was a lovely guy, and
it's a tough job.
He stood by a couple of things I did that were. I did. Do you remember? First, this NBC reporter wrote a book about her having a mastectomy. And it's called First You Cry. And then I did a sketch when we had, it was First He Cries. and it was Gilda, unfortunately, in retrospect, has a mastectomy, and Bill Murray is her husband. And he just goes, it starts feeling really sorry for himself because his wife had
so horrible.
The whole point was that it was satirical, which is a guy doesn't do that.
Yeah, right. That is the joke. Yeah,
that was the joke. And so, B. Arthur was her oncologist, and she's basically saying this happens all the time, and the fact that he's got a girlfriend now named Bambi is not, is to be expected. and Clotworthy's wife had a mastectomy, and he just said to me, "I love this sketch."
Wow.
Because he got the satiric point of it. And that was when you just went, oh, and I was really good friends with all the censors because I talked to them all the time.
Yeah.
Because my stuff was, I had to deal with them all the time.
Hey, call down.
Edgy.
All right, Dana, what else you got for Al, this poor guy? We're putting to the ringer.
I don't know.
Well, I'm having fun. So
I know it is fun.
Stuart Smalley, we got to that.
There's too much. I will have one last thing. You didn't write Reagan Mastermind, did you? That was a great.
That was Smigels. That was Smigels. I kicked in.
Yeah,
but that had a line that Chippendales had, which was, "This is the part of the job I hate." And that was Mike Myers' line when they had to choose between Swayze and Chris, and it's so hard. They're consulting, and Myers goes, "This is the part of the job I hate." So that was one of my favorite lines. I don't think I wrote that in. Downey wrote Chippendales. I had one. My name was on it, but it was because I sat with him while he wrote it. And
that's a good trick.
I had one thing in it, which was the name Barney.
Barney, yeah. Barney and Adrian, right?
Barney and Adrian. Barney.
Yeah, that was Nealon who did funny. That great.
Yeah. Well, Nealon, the greatest attitude player. That was what was great. It was like you just knew Nealon could play attitude. Mm-hmm. Downey and I wrote a piece which was, and then you think about how of the time it was a toothpaste ad, which had Garrett and Victoria, not Garrett, Tim Meadows, I guess, and Victoria Jackson. And they're pitching it for the Country Music Awards. And and Kevin is the guy who is receiving the pitch and has to say, no, we don't want to put, and it ends with this big kiss, right? And this is, I can't remember what year it was, but this was not something you would put on the Country Music Awards, a white woman kissing a black guy on the lips. And it was Nealon trying to say no without saying that.
Right. Saying all the reasons it wouldn't work, but not saying that.
That sounds very much.
Yeah, I can't remember the lines, but you give him attitude, and it was just he was a master.
Yeah, maybe
he is. Maybe
we could think of something else to do here at this beat. I don't know.
Well, that's then I ran for the Senate.
You ran for a little birdie told me that you ran for the Senate.
Yeah, and then look, you guys, this idea of doing that, you've had. I love that you're having writers on.
Yeah,
I kind of go by like people in high school or college that are just interested in this or interested in comedy. It's kind of interesting to hear it just straight from people. Their process or how it happened and why, and the whimsy of it all too. Just like where does your inspiration come from, Al?
You once told me, Dana, that no one should become a comedian unless they have to be a comedian.
Pretty much. I think show business in general is an emotionally violent sport.
You said that. I wrote that down. I thought that was interesting.
Well, your feelings get hurt a lot, even if you're doing really
all
well.
Day.
And my touchstone, as corny as it sounds, is like, I'm still making money doing this. And that's pretty cool. I never lost.
Yeah. Well, because of you're one of 900 people who can.
Yeah.
I just got an update. There's 911. There's some Bangladeshis were funny, and we had someone from Madagascar who made
some people fall out.
Those people fall. Well, guys, thanks.
Al, thank
Al,
you, buddy.
You were great. Really interesting and fun. So thanks for coming on, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Well, thank you, guys.
All right, see you, buddy.
Senator Al
Take
Franken.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything. Anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com. Hey, we got a question here, Dana, and
right.
To wrap it up, this is we get so many questions that we usually say the listener's name, but when so many ask the same type of question, we're just going to do the question. They've written about Larry Sanders' show and Gary. Any stories about, Well,
Gary Shandling. Gary Shandling we all knew Gary for a long time in the clubs, great stand-up. And then when he did the Larry Sanders Show, he asked me to come on. They were making episodes, but the show was not released yet. Mm-hmm. So he asked me to come on and be myself, Dana Carvey, guest hosting for Larry Sanders. And we had a scene where he asked me to do an impression of him to him. And you go, because I used to do this gear where you go, what are people doing? I don't know what, the cat food on the carpet, which was an exaggeration of one of his rhythms. And he's the one who wanted me to do it. Here's the interesting part of me guest hosting Larry Sanders. Hervé Villachez, who was a little person, was a guest on the show, but it had never aired. Even though he was told, he thought I was a real talk show host interviewing him, and he never knew that it was a fake talk show. So that was very funny. So I was on one of the very first Larry Sanders. David?
Well, a tidbit. I went to the Comedy Museum. Heather, where was that? It was in Jamestown, New York, and they have the Larry Sanders set there. They have so much. This is actually, I'll give them a shout out. It's a great comedy museum. They have so many things, but they have the set, which threw me back because I did I did the third one. Again, like you, I think he was getting people he knew a little bit. He's from Tucson. I'm from Scottsdale. I knew him a little bit. And through Brillstein Gray, I knew him a little bit. I was going to be on his old Gary Shandling show, and we didn't work it out. And this one, he said, why don't you play yourself? It was sort of like you, where he said, why don't you play a comedian? I had like a goofy comedian name. Then he goes, why don't you just do it as yourself? Do you care? We might just do that. They don't want to play themselves. Janine Garofalo interviewed me, and I was a stand-up. It was a funny idea because I was a stand-up, and I was doing his show like on a Friday, and on Monday I do Leno and I do the same set. And then he goes, you can't do the same set here. I go, well, it doesn't matter. They go, no, you have to do all new stuff. I go, no. And so there's a big mess, and then they bump me. Rip Torn goes,
Rip Torn,
he goes, let's bump that fucking Spade and teach him a lesson. Show him how Hollywood works around here. And so they bump me, and then 2 seconds later, Janine Garofalo runs in and goes, Joe Pesci's stuck in Chicago. There's a snowstorm. And Rip Torn looks at Gary. And then you cut to Gary going, making his third appearance, David Spade. And I come out and I open with my same joke, and Rip Torn just shrugs his shoulders. And that was the episode. It was fucking great. I thought it was so funny. I thought Gary was great. I mean, Dana knew him better in the real life, but
he blessed my house. I bought a house in Encino, my wife and I, and he wanted to come go through it for spirits and stuff.
Oh, really?
So we stood outside and waited, and Gary was in there for like 20 minutes. He came out and he goes, it's clean.
That's his side hustle?
But I would say that Gary, as funny as they come in the show, he was a little bit conflicted for a while. He was up for taking over for Johnny, which Jay Leno did. And then he does this show, and I've had young people email me and stuff. This Larry Sanders show is pretty brilliant. So it broke everything. It broke The Office. He really influenced so many people with that, whatever you call that style. I'd never been on a show like that. They had 3 16mm cameras, and you're doing a take. Every take is done. There's the single shots and the 2-shot. Yeah. And he also in between you go, just say something like that, and I'll say something like this, and really give it to me this time. And then you would do it. So it was incredibly good for comedians, because who wants to repeat the same line?
Sort of like pre-Curb, when I did Curb, they say, just get angrier on this take. It wasn't even about lines. Just here's your attitude in this. And then they go whisper to Larry, here's his attitude. I don't know what his is going to be. So I think He
started in the modern era. I mean, there were other people. He did It's the Gary Shandling Show. He broke the fourth wall, but he kind of lit the match for this modern type comedy. So
thank you,
God rest his soul, and thanks for the question. Anyway, we have a best of 2024 episode, David.
Woo, yeah. We cobbled together some garbage, some great stuff from this year. And listen, we had a really fun year on Superfly. I have to say I had a great time. And we got a lot of people watching. We got some people on YouTube. So stoked about that. A lot of comments. And we just kind of rotate in and out different people. Sometimes you don't have a guest. Sometimes you do.
A lot of fan interaction.
And
we must have done at least 100 hours of podcasting.
Seems impossible. It seems like too much. It seems like no one could do that.
Yes. And now we've distilled it down to the our very favorite moments. We got Gronk and Edelman, the superstar football
Gronk
players.
and Edelman, yep. They're little
Dr.
pieces
Greer,
of them.
the UFO expert.
UFO.
UFOologist. Dr. Greer created a lot of pickup with his
a lot of chatter about
controversial take on aliens.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, speaking of that, we've got Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, he was very funny. Right off Saturday Night Live, he came in the next day.
Yeah,
and talked to us. And
he still was dressed as George Washington.
Yeah, that's what he does all day. And then Danica Patrick, who was very interesting, different guest for us. She was fun. I don't even know who else. We're just putting the kind of a best of. So if you missed anything, or if you want to see it again, check it out.
And John Lovitz will make an appearance.
Oh yes, Lovitz. Of course, we love Lovitz. So it wouldn't be it without him. So here you go. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You have no idea how much of a pain in the ass it was to fit me in a car, because we had to usually put like something to raise my feet up so that I could get closer to the top of the pedal, so that I was putting my feet on the right spot. Again, I think it's because it's like ironically hailing here in the middle of the summer, and it's like sunny but a couple clouds, but it's truly hailing outside.
I thought it was one of those things where you say to the dog, if it feels like it's not going well, start barking, and then I'll say I have to leave.
Yeah.
But that would be actually quite the skill set. It's like,
a
the
good
dog
date.
in the commercial is going to get a beer for them. If I could get the dog to like get me out of jail free card in uncomfortable situations, that would be a major skill set. But anyway, so turns out I had the balls to do it.
You
I
had
was
the feet long enough and everything.
Yeah, got the car fitted to me. So it was definitely, there were times where I was too high, too far forward, too far back, too far down.
The whole time.
And not the whole time, but usually at the beginning of the season after you got fitted, you'd figure that out very, very quickly in the first sort of time that you got in the car. And sometimes like I would be like working on the seat myself and like shaving it down and taking pieces out of it, and very, very manly of me. But yeah, fitting in.
What was your height and weight in your prime race car driving? How small were you?
I probably, I'm 5'1", never really grew past, I'm going to guess that was gotta be like 9th grade. And, I've been like around 110 pounds ish my whole life.
So did you ever consider, if the race car driving didn't turn out, you'd be a jockey? Did you ever think about being a jockey? Just kind of kidding, but I
have ridden a horse before. It was like once I got into NASCAR, so it was later. And I think what are the speeds? There's like loping is sort of like a speed with horses, and it's kind of scary. I'm not sure I would have been okay with it. Those horses, every time I see a horse like running fast or going through water or just carrying someone fat on their back, I just think, I feel so bad for their legs. And then when they break them, they have to kill them. And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like the man with those little legs and big body.
Good job, Dana. Bring up the sore subject. But also, Danica, I don't know if you're part of this scam. I think I was promoting something and we went to Darlington maybe. And there was a guy that would drive idiots like me around to do a lap or something. Do you remember this guy's name? It was something funny.
They probably got someone that was a driver or has been at some point in something.
By the way, Dana, when you're going whipping around the corner, and they want you to be scared shitless. They said you don't have to be in it. Then when I got there, they go, "No, get in with the guy." And I go, "Well, don't drive or anything." It's a scam every step along the way. Crawl in the window, put on this suit. That the hardest part is. For scariest for me because Danica and I are drivers. Dana, it's hard to explain, but I'll explain it to you.
I'm following. I'm riveted.
Okay, so you get in and you go, put on this fireproof suit. There won't be a fire, but when there is, this will block some of it for a few seconds. And I go, okay. And then I don't know if I'm claustrophobic. I did find out when they clip me in with 18 clips. I go, let's just say we roll. How do we get the clips? And the guy's like, oh, I'll be long gone by then. I'm like, I know, but with me, when I'm in the car burning, there's so many clips. I lost track. I go, good luck. And then when he goes around, he's going, I don't know how fast, 700, maybe I'm wrong. And then he hits the wall. And I think Danica would know
you in
that.
the car?
Yeah. And that's
Fantastic.
It's the Darlington stripe. They do it on purpose to make you shit your pants. It works. He hits the wall. So when we get out of the car, the whole door is kind of ripped. And I'm like, why is the guy, first of all, that's not good enough to be out there with the real people, is the one with my life? And there's something wrong. And it was fun, in quotes.
Well, now you can say, like, I didn't pee my pants, but you can say you did shit yours when you were driving.
And I found out once I did it once, now I do it all the time because it was fun and I liked it. And which part am I talking about? The driving?
Which part are you talking about?
There's a story about a driver that did shit his pants. It was at Watkins Glen, New York.
Yeah.
He was sick and he absolutely sharted himself and he won the race.
And he had to run around with it.
Wow.
And then he had to like go change before going to Victory Lane. Anyway,
I don't want to put this image in your head, but there are Olympic world-class marathoners who have, and there's no hiding that.
No.
Yeah, that's harder to hide.
Now we have
you
a
guys
theme.
ever run for like long distance and known about this whole have to shit thing?
I was a distance runner as a younger person, but I never saw it up close. There was folklore about it.
Usually you're healthier then, but when you get older, I could see things falling apart. But we just had a runner on. We should have asked him that.
Oh, yeah, you should have, because I ran the Boston Marathon a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. My one bucket list item was to run a marathon. And so, well, I don't know what's wrong with me. But my friend said, hey, I think I can get us into Boston. And I was like, yeah, cool. So she did. And I had to do a lot of training in Arizona where it was like, I would go as soon as like barely sunrise. What I didn't realize is I should have gone in the dark. But it'd be like 100 to 105 by the time I was finished. And there's something about the heat too that really makes you want to go.
Oh,
that may make
I didn't
sense.
though. So I never did that either.
Danica, I don't want to brag, but when I used to walk from McCormick Ranch to my friend's pool on like Lincoln and 60th, Dana, this sounds like a brag. I would wear just raw dog it, just shorts, no sunscreen, no hat, 3 miles so I can go in the pool. And that was in the summer when I was in high school. And that's all. Just bragging. That was my Boston Marathon.
Barefoot too?
Oh, I see.
Not full raw dog. I had some Stan Smiths on. Actually, the story is partially a lie. Anyway, back to
you're on a roll. Let's finish.
I know. Story. I was excited because I was like, because I grew up in Scottsdale baking and boiling, so I know Danica's story checks out. And my mom's there now, and the dog. So she drives them around for a walk. For a walk, she puts them in the car, and then she rolls the windows down. And then she drives around and lets them bark. She drives up to people and they bark at them and then she drives off. And if she sees, I don't know, that's my mom, but it's fun for her. She's, it's fun. I did it once with her. I go, I want to go on one of these. And then she found where they had horses and she pulled up and then they bark at the horses and it's.
Did you bark at them too?
I sort of was the referee because then the horses would come to the fence and then I said, okay, this is obviously just for fun. Everything's for fun here. Because the horses didn't get what was going on. But overall, it's fun in Arizona, Dana.
It's hot.
Okay, I have
9 out of 12 months are fun.
Yes, that's what my buddy sells real estate there, and he says, I say, how do you just talk people into living there because everyone's fucking moving there? And he said, well, I say in Chicago, there's 3 or 4 months you can't go outside because of snow. It's just the opposite. And I'm like, I guess that makes sense. I don't like it when it's freezing. But I grew up in Arizona, so I kind of can take it when it's hot. I mean, Dana, you know that I had my steering wheel was steel. This is before I was rich, everybody. So I had a steering wheel that was steel, and then I had oven mitts when I got in to grab it because they were so hot. And then they really came in handy when I pulled that pot roast out of the glove compartment. But that's not why we're here.
I really want to know what's going on with the rest of the car if the steering wheel was steel.
Steering wheel was steel, Danica. You know, because we're in the driving biz. Also, Danica, do you have road rage in Scottsdale? Do you get out? Do you carry anything?
I thank God there's so many lanes on the highway these days, because you can pretty much maneuver. I absolutely use the HOV at any point in time, no matter how many people are in the car or not.
Good job. Good job.
And I always think to myself, if I get pulled over, I mean, it's lapsed now, but I'd be willing to use an expired one. If I pulled out like my FIA racing license along with my ID, how would that go?
They would probably let you go. You've got a couple things going for you, and they might give you. But there's more crime going on out there. I don't like me. I'm not the big fish guy. Like I know where you can focus some policing. So don't try to drag me in. But I'm easy. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like go 85 on the 101 is not really worth the time of day. They should probably. There's some other areas that need help for sure.
Yeah, I've been on all of them. Yeah, when they say, I get text people, hey, like more like friends of friends, not like direct friends, but they go, hey, you're coming to Kansas City, so how do we get tickets? Well,
I get
or
that's
hey,
a
how do we get
soft
tickets?
ask.
And can I just buy them off you? Well, so you give me your Visa, and then I go buy them, and then I rack the little Visa thing, and then I call you. I don't know. No, I said it's probably easier if you just.
What about this? Like I was playing a casino in Oroville, California, and I told people in the Bay Area and my sister, who I'm really close with, I said, just don't come. Please don't come. Just don't come. I mean, don't worry. You're not going to miss
What a horrible person.
No,
you're not going to miss anything.
It's because.
Are you doing the same stuff? I go, well, don't come.
Well,
No,
I didn't say
I'll
that
grind
once.
It out.
And there was a 40. It was in my hometown, basically. There were 45 people backstage. It was, and it was always, Bill Slicklow, and you remember Bobby Foplop, and it was, I don't know. I just want to do the show and go home. Anyway, but that part.
Everyone's having more fun than you.
Well, let's hear it.
Yeah, Saturday night I had a buddy from high school that texted me, and he calls me, texts me, and then I was like, "Hey, I'm at Saturday Night Live, and we're taping." And he goes, "All right, just call me after," and then that was it. Just like, all right, no, like even acknowledge that I'm hosting Saturday. Just,
really?
All right, well, just call me after. Yeah, he just call me right after. All right, yeah, I'll be done.
I'm on SpaceX. We're just gonna go one loop around the world. Okay, call me when you get back.
1:01 a.m. He's like, dude, I saw you're over. Call me. What's up? Where you been?
Yeah, where have you been?
Because of texting, did you get reviews at 8:30? Sorry, at 8 during the show, because it's on what's live on the East Coast. But I get reviews from the West Coast while the show's going, because they're watching it live out there at 8:30.
Yeah, you try not to look at your phone, but you always end up having like around update and Coldplay. Like you have a moment, and you kind of can just see it. I had a big day so I'm a Vanderbilt fan. Vanderbilt beat Alabama in college football. So as a big Vanderbilt fan, they were number one in the country. It's the biggest win we've ever had in all of our sports. Wow. So, I mean, I got text about that more than even,
more than your goofy gig on SNL.
Yeah. I mean, it was just all day was, then people were just like, you better say something on Saturday Night. Like the pressure I was getting you better acknowledge it, like just and you're
we're
like,
lucky we got our guy there tonight, so you can get the word out.
At least wear a T-shirt during the good nights, man.
Fuck, silence is violence.
Did you have a Vanderbilt T-shirt on?
No, I had. I wore a jacket that was like that had the hurricane. All the states that were getting hit by the hurricane, just like being with them.
Yeah,
but
where do they sell that?
They don't.
That's my brother's.
By the way,
in
the
one
first
right now.
hurricane, the Asheville and that whole area, all the heat is taken off of that now, and that should be talked about for another year.
Yeah,
it switches right over to. I don't know, it's getting too sad. But yeah. Anyway. Pee Wee Sherman.
Cool. That's cool.
Like cute.
No one's making Pee Wee Carvey.
You have great fans. No,
I know. I don't have that
attacked.
many, but they're strong. They're small but mighty.
Yeah.
I just love them. I just have Garth bobbleheads. Can I get one more? Can I get 5 more? Can I get 10 more? Cut it out, dude. Fuck you. And then they start to fight. Just Garth. That's it.
Dana,
That's
let's get
cool.
to the important matter at hand, which is one girl on TikTok saying something about SNL girls, and then we all talk about it forever. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Sarah, give us your strong opinion about it, whatever that is.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's what. Wait, let me make sure that the human hand is in the background. And I'll take my glasses off for this.
No, it's important.
Literally, like, what is she smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, there's some of the most beautiful. What? It's like, listen, I'm not funny, but I'm good looking. You know what I mean? Like,
You're right.
The women that she's taught, like, she brings up women who are like literally drop dead, va 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 boom, ga ga ga, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I was mad at myself for tweeting. I shouldn't have fucking said fucking anything because she said some shit for attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was sitting on the train. Well, I woke up in the morning and everyone texted me. I woke up to none of my friends care if I live or die. But then I woke up to like 100 texts from my friends being like, ha 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 ha, look at this, LOL. And so I was like,
LOL means
just
fuck
sitting on
you,
the
by the way,
train
when
being
people
like-
text me that. They're like, did you see this?
Yeah,
Haha. And you're like,
exactly.
it's not really LOL. It's more like, I want you to see this.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like one time I woke up to text from my friend. There was like a Reddit thread I had like opened for a band in Central Park in 95-degree heat in the summer. And then there was like a whole Reddit thread of like teenagers telling me that I'm so unfunny that I should literally shoot my own head off. And that's what my friends send me. My friends don't send me like anything good.
Yeah.
So like
anything
I was
positive.
sitting on the train just being like, I don't know. I just fucking tweeted it and I immediately regretted tweeting it because it's like she just wanted that's what people want. They just want attention for 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a tricky one because if you protest too much, it's sort of like, hey, wait a minute, we are good looking. You know, that's
I know, and I didn't want it to come across as like defensive or like
yeah.
And then people thought like I was legitimately upset. And I'm like, no, I'm just I woke up like ready to say something hilarious about grieving uglily.
Uglily was maybe the funniest thing I heard last week. Yeah, it was so funny. And uglily it's not out there a lot, that word, and I like it. I don't think I've ever heard it.
It's a new word.
That's why I did it. If I felt compelled to bring a word into the lexicon, but ultimately I wish I didn't say anything because then it just made it a bigger deal.
No, it's great. That's why we're calling you about it. It's totally gone away. That's why we're calling you about it.
Well, also I'm like, this got more attention than like every time I tweet like, hey, everybody check out this sketch that I made with my friends. I'm so proud of it. It's hilarious. It gets like 2.5 likes and like, yeah.
Block, delete, unfollow, report.
Yeah.
By the way,
go like,
I just saw
"This sucks."
happenstance. I think there's a delay on me. I think I saw Kristen Wiig, her monologue. What a stunner. I mean, just off the top of my head, forget it and who cares. Already, there's so many combo platters on that show of just really pretty and hilariously funny. Funny's harder. You can't go get surgery to be funnier. I mean, it's really...
Hey, wait a minute. Is it okay for funniness to add to a person's hotness? Not just men, but women as well? Because women will say, I like a man who's funny, but what about a man who likes women that are funny?
Yeah. Have to be.
Yeah, that's like Rodney Dangerfield is like the hottest guy who ever lived. Was he a looker?
Yes.
To me. Yeah. No, you're right.
The metric is so
I
crazy.
tell you I'm hot, Johnny. I'm hot. I tell you I'm hot. All the girls like me. Oh, So I have not. That's my worst impression.
I get too much respect entirely. Every time a photographer sees me, he takes a picture.
Yeah,
Every
it's not
time
as funny
a woman
that way.
sees
You're
me,
right.
she takes my pants off. I tell you, I got a lot of respect. How does she take your pants off? I mean, the whole thing is fascinating. I just for a second wanted to ask you about generative AI or AI, which also is people are telling us, they didn't tell us about the World Wide Web, how destructive that was going to be in terms of social media and all of that. But how does that intersect with what you're thinking? Because obviously it needs massive energy, and apparently.
Oh yeah.
But it also will become kind of like this alien brain that we control, or what's your thoughts on that? AI, how it integrates with all the secret government and all those people. If you control it, you control the world, maybe, or.
Well, it can be. You know what I'd say about technology? I just make this simple. As an emergency doctor, I've seen a knife put butter on your bread and slit someone's throat or stab you through the heart.
Right.
So it's the consciousness of who wields it, who has it. So the technology is neutral. It's what men do with it, what humans do with it, right? So what does humanity do with the new technology? Do we turn it into a weapon? Do we turn it into something malevolent? Do we use it for the good? And see, this gets into something that sounds very philosophical and airy-fairy, but really the foundation of having a sustainable civilization is that we have to have advanced technology, but it has to be guided by a higher consciousness. You call it higher spiritual consciousness, enlightenment, some greater interest besides your own, can I become another trillionaire kind of mindset. And I think that is the real crisis, because in the 20th and early 20th century, our technologies have gotten ahead of our social and spiritual development. And that makes humans at a very dangerous place. Now, this is why one of the other projects I run is the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, where we actually train people to make contact with these civilizations and vector or guide them into a sighting or a landing or a contact event. And there's a movie out called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and it outlines all of this. And it's a bit out there. People go, what the hell is this? But it has to do with using this higher concepts in kind of what Neuralink's trying to do, but on a much higher scale, of the consciousness field to interact with extraterrestrial guidance and communication systems through what the CIA called remote viewing, using consciousness to see remote
viewing is crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I know all the top
interesting
viewers. Yeah. Ingo Swann and I were friends before he died, and he loved what we were doing with that, because we were doing it for peaceful contact as opposed to trying to spy on the Soviet Union back when he was
right.
But I know Russell Targ and all the remote viewers and the top CIA people who are currently working those programs. I know, and they're very positive about what we're trying to do, using those concepts in what's called entanglement in physics or non-locality to remote view and contact these extraterrestrial civilizations and make a peaceful outreach. By the way, we're going to do it's open to the public. You guys should come. We're doing a thing in July in Temecula.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I think there are only about 80 places left, but we're also going to stream it globally. So we're going to do this global CE5. There's an app, by the way, CE5 Contact app that trains you in remote viewing and doing this. I'm going to do a thing with Demi Lovato's about this. It's so much fun. This is way fun.
Describe what remote viewing is just for a second. Just in quick remote viewing.
Sure. Okay.
So people.
So, it kind of gets back to what Ben Rich, who was the head of the Lockheed Skunk Works, said in 1995. And he said, someone asked them about this whole UFO issue. He says, well, just remember, every point in space and time is connected instantaneously through this quantum field. Now, that's known as entanglement in quantum physics. The ultimate field of entanglement, of interconnectivity, is the consciousness field. Now, you and I think of consciousness as what we're thinking of. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the faculty of being conscious itself and the experience. It's like in meditation, where before I was a medical doctor, I was a golden boy meditation teacher, went around the world teaching meditation in my first career.
I have a mantra.
I learned, I all these people, a lot of, I won't say who, a lot of celebrities I've taught meditation to, but we went around and we taught people how to go into that deep state. But remember, if you're in that deep state of quiet consciousness, you can awaken to another point in space or time. So you can see with your, say, third eye, a remote place in space or time. So the CIA made a routine program of that in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But it can be used for very good purposes too, besides spycraft. It can be used for knowing things that you need to know, for big discoveries. Many of the big scientific discoveries, like the founder of organic chemistry, went into a dream state and saw the structure of the organic system. And that's true. So it's a really amazing adjunct. It doesn't replace science or intellectual science. It's an adjunct. It's complementary to it. So one of the things that we're teaching people is that these civilizations, I'll tell you, you want to hear a funny story? Or is very common.
No.
So I was with, you do a skit on Saturday. By the way, I loved it when you did Church Lady years ago. Isn't that special? I mean, that was my favorite.
Dana, was that me or you?
We like aliens better than we like Jesus.
I think that was Dana.
It was me.
That was my all-time favorite. Anyway.
Thank you. Talk about consciousness. I just want to insert this, Doctor. It's just, you're reminding me a little bit of John Lennon's song Imagine.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Which was basically a plea for higher consciousness. That what you're talking about. And I do think if you can get it together, whoever does this, so aliens come down, kind of like the day the earth stood still, that will propel a lot of forward consciousness in terms of my religion, your religion, So you live in a fascinating
Well, that's what
world.
we're doing.
Yeah.
I have a few questions, just quickly. You did this roast with Tom. First of all, like when we did the roast, I did the Rob Lowe one. We didn't know each other's jokes ahead of time. Did you guys know each other's jokes?
No, we didn't. No, but we would have to tell our jokes to the room, and then they didn't tell us if someone had a joke that they would say like, you can't use that one.
Oh, it bumps with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to what room? Writer's room?
Writer's room. Yes, correct.
Oh, you had to get up and say them?
On Zoom. I went to the Comedy Store and fucking performed my jokes.
Oh, I should have gone down there.
I was terrified. Thank God there was 15 like frat kids there that loved football, so I could say anything and they were going to laugh. But I was up there and I was reading my jokes off of paper, and I did 12 minutes. I wanted to like test jokes.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I was so terrified. It was really stepping outside of my comfort.
Oh, that makes you sick. That's so scary to go up in front of people and read those.
Yeah, that's 100%. Normal.
For real.
Who wrote?
Rob,
did you have someone write with you? Did you have someone help write with you in your voice?
They have roast writers, I think.
Yeah, I have my own team, and then we worked with their team, and we kind of formulated and threw a bunch of shit at the wall, and then I went to the store and set them all and kind of said, all right, this one's a good one. They didn't like this one.
And it's very hard to say, hey, guys, we're roasting Tom Brady. It's not the same exact scenario because they're ready for regular. Now, when you go to the roast, everyone's lasered in. This is about this, blah, blah, blah. So I've seen like Nikki go in, okay, guys, here's what I'm doing. I'm hosting the MTV Awards. Picture Green Day here. It's just not the same. You don't get the exact same reaction. But you get a feel like this one might work. So that's good. And Rob, you did the same thing? I'm sorry. Did you say that?
Yeah, mine was similar. I actually had like 3 different phone calls with the writers. I just wanted to understand the feel of, of the type of material that I had for Tom and the other people that were going to be there. And then they kind of wrote some jokes for me. I actually have a friend who's an absolute maniac who, when he's on fire, he's on fire. He can come up with anything. So he wrote 4 of my jokes. And then I actually wrote 4 of my jokes as well. And then all the other jokes were from the writers. So, it was just a team effort. But at the end, once you have your whole script, you tell the writers what you're going to say. And then they figure it out. Hey, you can't say that because someone else is already saying, so it wasn't repeated.
Mm-hmm. How much fear
that's fair.
compared to when you're starting football? Doing public speaking, going to a podium, you got all these comedians. It's a global event. I mean, it was an amazing roast. And you guys are coming out there and you're following people. I mean, where was your nerve level? I'm sure you couldn't compare it to athletics, but it's intense. It took me years to get used to doing it. It took me 3 years without being just terrified to do stand up,
Dude, it was really scary because we're football players. We're not comics. And then you're following fucking pros.
Yeah, sharpshooters.
Huge event. I'm so thankful I had that rep before at the store because it gave me like a rep of it. But I was definitely terrified just because that's not what we do.
I know. That's what I was just asking.
And the size of the crowd is bigger than normal stand-up. It's crazy.
Yeah, there was 10,000. What was it? The Forum? There's but the cool thing about it was you only saw the people. You didn't see the crowd. You saw they had a bunch of tables for people that were going to be made fun of or associated with people. So you saw a lot of your friends in the crowd. I didn't, so that was kind of cool.
And also, everyone knows you're not a professional stand-up. So there is usually goodwill, because they understand it's not what you do for a living right now. But how was your nerve level, Rob? You were relaxed.
But we're crazy psychos, man. That's why we won so many championships together, is that Julian wants to be the best, even though that's not his profession. I wanted to be the best up there, even though that's not my profession. I mean, Bill wants to be the best. When you sign up for something, we want to be the best, and we're super competitive. And that's why I feel like that whole group right there, we won so many championships, and why we went to the playoffs every single year, because of that competitive nature. But my nerves were cooking a little bit. That's why between Julian, myself and Kevin Hart, we were all 3 in a row, and we literally finished a bottle of tequila before we even went up there. And that definitely helped out, because when I got up there, that tequila just went zoop. And it was just game on, baby. And also,
wait a minute. So before you went out, you had at least 5 shots, 6 shots.
No, or on stage, probably.
Yeah,
they had it on stage,
and then, we were drinking.
So by the time you got to the podium, how many shots of tequila?
I don't know, Jules. Probably 6 to 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah, 6 to 7.
I kept mine. I had a prerequisite of my cocktail before, so I tried my cocktail of what I was going to do before at the store, so I could dial in.
Wow, you're prepared.
I have to say that the nerves erase a lot of your buzz sometimes, so you're really drunker than you think, because you're so fucking giddy with all the energy and the adrenaline that you go, I don't even know if I'm drunk. I'm just and you're too.
You don't feel
up,
it as much if you're adrenaline.
That's what happened to me, and also it kind of sucked waiting your turn, because once your turn was over, you killed it. It felt so good just to watch the rest of the show. Like it was like you laid back and relaxed.
Right. Or you get something stepped on. That's what I was scared, because Nikki, I thought, was first. And when someone goes before and they do jokes, I'm like, oh my God, I'd be going, fuck, that steps on this joke. Oh, do I got to take that one out? And who do you tell? It's live. You're like, do I text someone? Like, get rid of that joke. It bumps exactly with Kevin Hart's joke. It's the same thing. That's the hard part. That's where the writers have to make sure, unless you're ad-libbing or something, but I'm sure ad-libs come out because it's live and just in the moment you want to add a tagline. Or
I was watching, so I was really amazed with the professionalism of all like the comics that went up there, and with Kevin Hart, and watching him how he was off the teleprompter, like how he would hit a couple things on the prompter, then ad-lib, and then go back to the prompter.
Scary.
So I was watching who was reading their jokes and who wasn't. And Rob went up there, and I'm sitting there looking at his prompter, and then I'm looking, and he went completely rogue. He just started going on his own rant. It was crazy. It was like fun to see who was using their prompter and who wasn't. And Rob went full rogue on the prompter and just started going Rob on him.
And then you don't know where you're coming back to, because they're like, the prompter goes down, and they go, is this part? And then you're like, because live, a lot of those roasts, like the one I did, they trim it from 3 hours down to like an hour and a half. So they were cutting all the fat out, all the mistakes. It's more fun to see the mistakes and see what's really happening.
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah. Did anything shock you? Did you hear jokes that like you were like, oh shit, we're doing this?
Were your feelings hurt, or did you ever observe anyone else who you felt like their feelings were hurt? Because that's the live wire reality show aspect of roast. You're laughing, but then I've seen roasts where, whoa, that person's really wounded right now. I guess that's part of it. But did you witness, or yourselves, did you get your feelings hurt at all?
No, I don't think anyone got their feelings hurt, and that's what made that roast that much more special. And it also kind of makes you stronger as a person as well. If you can just take those beatings and lashings in front of millions of people and in front of a crowd of 20,000+ people, in front of all your good friends as well, I mean, it makes you strong mentally. And that's why I loved it. I mean, I can go around anywhere now, whatever people say about me. That roast literally kind of freed me up. I don't care what people say. Call me an idiot. Call me dumb. Like, whatever. I was in front of millions of people and that happened. Like, so it's no big deal. And I think that's what made the show so special, too, is everyone took the beating and no one was actually truly hurt about it.
That's what the locker room is. I mean, no one's safe in the locker room. Everyone's getting made fun of. It was just public.
Well, when I did the roast, they go, like, it's hard to see someone walk up and go, everyone says Spade has huge ears. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? Wait, what does everyone say? Because you're never hearing everything people are saying. So when they start a joke with, I think we're all in agreement, and then it's like some horrible thing about you, and you go, and you're trying to brace like, oh, okay, that was too much. I'm going to mark that down. I got to talk to them after. I got to mark that one down, because there's so many coming at you. You just go, holy shit. That's why I never did it for so long, because I'm too much of a pussy to take it. It's just so out of left field.
I think it's crazy to hear how you analyze the show. Like, we don't think about that. You guys are pros, so you're sitting there like, oh, he hit that, so I'm going to fucking bring this to him. Oh,
yeah. I want to go up early.
Like, that was enough.
That's a deal breaker. I go, put me up early, because by the time like Andrew Schultz got on, he has great jokes, but it's hard to just get the effect when you've heard you're numb by this point.
Yeah. Nikki had the best spot there. I think she was third or fourth. Yeah. Kevin Hart warmed him up. A couple people were very good. It's cooking. Now. And then there's a wave that she caught, and she was incredibly prepared. I mean, she worked for 6 weeks or something, night after night, taping, recording.
I have a question for you too.
Oh boy.
I saw this video of this girl, and she goes, I'm a furry. And then she goes, here's how I talk to my friends. So if I'm happy, I'm like, meow. If I'm angry, I go, meow. If I'm anyway, do you think that human beings that identify as cats are actually cats? I don't, but do you?
I ran into someone who said my pronouns are they, them. And I said, my pronouns are what's up, motherfucker?
Oh.
Well, those are my pronouns. What's up, motherfucker?
John's are poo-poo pee-pee.
No.
John's pronouns are did you fart?
Sir and Lord. Sir Lord.
Mine are fur and fur.
Hey, sound effecty.
I just know growing up, someone said, what are your pronouns? I'd be, huh?
Huh?
What are your, I go, what?
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you call yourself? John.
Listen, our
transphobic much?
Our viewers.
No, I don't. It's like, what? I never thought about it.
We had 3 left. Now there's 0.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I'd love to hear the end of that story sometime,
I'm all
John.
for it. You apparently mock people who think they're a dog or a cat. I met a woman
school with a litter box.
Story. I had a date with a woman once, and she said she was a cat, and she opened her shirt, and she had 6 nipples.
And I said, "Do you want to get spaded?"
Picture, if you will, one John Lovitz on a date with a woman he finds very attractive. He will soon find out that she's a pussy cat.
This is an imitation my friend would always do. This is a cat's butthole. Meow.
Was he a comedian?
How old are you?
How old was he? 2?
We've got to have a raspberry count. Anyone making this sound? We're probably double ditches. Ditches? Oh, and bitches. Okay. Well, John Lovitz has been our guest today.
The debate was great last night. We'll say it again.
Debate was great.
Carvey doesn't identify as a cat. He identifies as a pussy.
John,
for those listening, John is beside himself with joy. He's going in for the close-up with the big eyes and a huge grin. Huge grin.
I'm doing my cat in the camera again. The Ring camera.
David Spade has a disease. It's called smallpox.
Let's end on that one. That's not bad.
That's a pretty good one, John. I don't know how you think of this stuff. All right.
Thanks, buddy. This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Superfly is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade. Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Heather Santoro, and Greg Holtzman. Hope you liked it.
Ooh.